Hey everybody, welcome back to On Stage, Off Stage. I am your host, George Sapio, and this is episode number 179, July of 2024, and the first of our 2024 play readings with the theme Missing Home. Our play this month is Decisions, written by playwright Chloe Riederich. We'll have an interview with Chloe right after the play, so don't go anywhere. Decisions by Chloe Riederich. The characters are Avery, played by Sylvie Eintema. Avery is a barista. They are a Sagittarius sun, Capricorn moon with Taurus rising. Their energy is like a pointy rock with hidden googly eyes on it, basking in the sun. And Piper, who is played by Dana Hall. Piper is a Libra sun, Gemini moon, Pisces rising. Her energy is like a butterfly trying to fly on a windy day. Lights up on Buzz Coffee. It's a small cafe with limited seating and seems to be overrun with plants to make up for the lack of humans. Avery, the barista, is toying with straws or napkins, not really doing work, but making it seem like they are doing something.
Can I help you?
Hmm?
Are you good?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, yeah.
You've been standing there for a really long time.
Oh, sorry. Sometimes it's just hard for me to choose.
Well, it's not like anyone else is in line, so take your time.
This place is deadly silent. Kind of ironic for it being called Buzz Coffee.
Wow, I've never heard that one before.
Yeah. You know what? I just won't get anything.
We only have like 3 pastries to choose from, and you've been staring at them for like 10 minutes, so
It's a hard decision.
it's just a pastry.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, like, do I get what I know I like so I won't be disappointed? Or do I try something new?
How adventurous are you feeling today?
I don't know.
Maybe figure that out and then see what pastry speaks to you. Can I make you a coffee in the meantime, or
Yeah, can I just get an iced vanilla latte with oat milk?
yeah, sure. What's your name?
Piper.
Cool. Coming right up, Piper.
Thanks. What's your name?
Avery.
Thanks, Avery. Like, you can never go wrong with a chocolate croissant, you know? It's so comforting and always a winner, and it's my personal favorite.
Then get that.
But why should I get my favorite pastry?
Because you want to,
But I don't know if that's what I want.
but it's your favorite. Don't you want it?
It's not that simple. I mean, yeah, it's my favorite, but look at that blueberry muffin.
I don't want to look at the muffin.
It's calling to me.
Well, then get the muffin.
No, it's too painful.
Painful. Okay, then don't get it. Well, get the Danish.
Oh, like it's that simple.
It is simple. They're pastries. There's 3 of them.
The Danish is alluring. I've never had one before, so it would be a risk.
My favorite of 3 is the Danish, so
So I can't succumb to the unknown. That's what got me here in the first place.
the unknown led you to Buzz Coffee?
No, the unknown led me here, to Chicago.
I see. Well, I'll just be over here if you need anything.
I can't do this. It's too much pressure.
Here's your coffee.
Do you always have blueberry muffins?
Not always, but we got blueberries this week, so I made them. Last week was double chocolate.
Of course.
Of course.
Blueberry muffins are Laurel's favorite. That's my girlfriend. And lo and behold, the only muffin you guys have is blueberry. So that has to be a sign.
Why don't you get Laurel a muffin and get yourself a chocolate croissant so you can both have your favorites?
She's not here.
I meant bring it to her. Obviously, she isn't here.
I moved here a few weeks ago and she's back home, which is literally 10 hours away. So I can't bring her a blueberry muffin right now.
I see.
And I've done long distance before, so I was like, oh, this will be fine, and it's only a few months. But actually, it's not fine because I see her in everything. And instead of making me feel warm and comforted, it just makes me want to scream because we're so far apart.
Can't you visit her?
I just moved and I haven't gotten a job yet, so I don't have money to visit her, and she doesn't have enough money to visit me, so I'm stranded and alone.
That's rough.
So the question is, do I get a muffin? Because I'll eat one of her favorite foods and it'll be like all those times we've shared one together.
Not to be that person, but I don't know if eating a muffin will help you feel closer to your girlfriend.
But I've tried everything. FaceTiming doesn't seem like enough, and I hate being on my phone all the time. And every time I breathe, the knot in my stomach, it just tightens. But this muffin could.
You're thinking if you eat her favorite muffin, it'll loosen the knot in your stomach?
Something like that. Oh, God. I sound crazy.
Not crazy yet, but you're definitely heading in that direction.
Like I moved away from her because I was choosing me, but I feel like I made the wrong decision, which is why I can't choose the croissant.
How can choosing yourself be the wrong decision?
That's the thing. I always put other people before myself, and I wanted to make a selfish decision just once to move to the city and experience life in a way I've never been able to before.
Maybe you made the right decision, but it feels wrong because you're doing something for yourself for the first time.
Shouldn't it feel right then?
Instead of thinking about things in the sense of right or wrong, you should think about it as old and new. Like you're feeling something new now. It's not inherently bad, right?
I, I guess not.
Just swim in the uncertainty for a while. You'll end up where you're meant to be.
I've never been the go where the wind takes you kind of person, though.
People change. Try something new. The worst that can happen is you don't like going where the wind takes you, and you can just reground yourself knowing that you at least tried.
You seem like a go where the wind takes you type of person.
Thanks.
I'm sure you've moved a bunch of times and never second guessed yourself, huh?
I've really only made one big move, and that was when I moved here after college. I left everything I knew and couldn't go back, so I had no choice but to make Chicago my new home.
Where'd you move from?
Indiana. I used to live in a rural town and I felt so suffocated. I had to leave.
Wow, that must have been really hard.
I mean, yeah, it was hard, but I needed to take the chance on myself to see if I would sink or swim.
Well, you're swimming in circles around me.
I'm just a barista.
Yeah, but you're so sure of yourself.
I'm the only constant I'm ever going to have. People come and go, but you're stuck with yourself forever. Why not trust that your gut knows what's right for you?
My gut is filled with anxiety. I always overthink.
That's your head talking. Your gut doesn't overthink things, it just feels.
I'm not sure my gut works.
I'm sure it does. You just need to learn how to listen to it.
You know, you're very wise.
Huh. Wise, or I just get to think a lot, right? One of the perks of working at this cafe, lots of downtime.
That sounds nice.
You chose to move here for a reason, whatever that reason was. I get muddled in all the uncertainties and trust that past you had your best interests in mind.
I guess you're right. Would you consider the city your home now?
I feel like home lives in me. Like wherever I go, I know I'll be able to make it feel like home.
Hmm.
Where do you think your home is?
I don't know. I always thought of home as a place.
A home can be anything or anyone. It's up to you to decide, and it can change. Do you want to see what your gut thinks is your home?
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to say a word, and you need to say the first thing that comes to your mind. No thinking, okay?
Okay.
Coffee,
Bitter.
Chicago,
Cold.
vanilla,
Ice cream.
home,
Laurel.
Green.
Leaves. Oh my God. She's my home. Oh, that was smooth, Avery.
I do what I can for the people.
Me finding her in everything and thinking about her constantly makes so much sense. Laurel is my home. That's why it's so hard being away from her.
And now you know that. You wouldn't have known that with certainty before.
No, I wouldn't have.
See? Everything happens for a reason.
I guess it does. Thank you, Avery.
Happy to help.
I have to go tell her.
Wait, before you go, here's a mystery pastry for you. On the house.
What?
Let's just say that life decided what to give you this time. Go with the flow, Piper.
Okay. I will. I'll see you around.
Same time next week.
Looking forward to it.
End of play. That was Decisions by Chloe Riederich. Avery was played by Sylvia Eitema, and Piper was played by Dana Hall. Chloe was kind enough to stop by the Zoom studio and have a chat with us. Where did this play come from? Why did you write this play?
So I just took a 2-month time span to move to New York City from where I was going to school in Virginia.
Okay.
And I have a girlfriend here in Virginia. So it's not really like a self-insert, but I was dealing with a lot of feelings about where home is. So when I saw the prompt being missing home, I was like, okay, this is perfect because I have so many thoughts in my mind about this right now. Let me just work through them through art.
Okay. Is this your first play, or have you written others?
I've written others. I've written 3 other plays. One of them is a one-act called Bumble's Big Adventure,
Okay.
and it's a theater for young audience piece trying to teach children how to be kind to themselves and to nature. We teach them breathing exercises for self-regulating and like just teaching them about how to be nice to people. It's really sweet and heartwarming. Um, and then I wrote another 10-minute play called Is This a Trope? And that one is about two 16-year-olds and they're best friends, but they both want to be something more, but neither of them knows how to say that to the next one. And there's a dance coming up soon, so the stakes are really high.
Okay, so
And then,
yeah, a lot of
yeah,
your
and
work
then the
seems to be geared towards YA stuff, or young adult sort of things.
Yeah, I would say that that is definitely where my mind goes to. I'm just really passionate about making theater that inspires hope and
Hmm.
instills hope in people. I feel like when change happens, it comes from a place of warmth and hope instead of despair. And I think that kids have amazing ideas, and I feel like we're very disconnected from the physical, like 3D world we live in because we're on screens all the time.
Yeah.
So one of my goals is to like get people to be curious, get people to go back outside, like connect with like their own physical bodies in space and realize that the world is more than just being on a screen all the time.
That's wonderful. We need more stuff like this. Please keep writing.
Thank you. That's the
Now,
goal.
younger persons need examples, they need models, they need voices that echo the things that are going on inside their own heads. And so many things go on in there that they're afraid to question or they're afraid to talk about or could be
We don't have
embarrassing,
the
could be wrong.
vocabulary.
Hmm?
Yeah, like I found that a lot of times we don't have the vocabulary to talk
Right.
about how we're feeling. So, like in Bumble's Big Adventure, Bumble, the bumblebee, talks about how there's a fluttering in their chest and how sometimes their face feels hot. So, it talks kind of about symptoms, kind of mirroring anxiety without kind of labeling it as this is anxiety and here's a possible way to deal with it. So, like, really trying to embrace the neurodivergencies that might not be told to them, but if they relate to a character and if they can learn something that helps them, like that's the goal.
What is your writing process like?
It kind of depends. With Bumble's Big Adventure, I had never written, that was my first play that I wrote, and I got a group of people together and we improvised, and then we worked to devise, and then we had a team of me and a couple of other playwrights take different lines that came out of the improvisation and turn them into scenes. And so that was like a huge collaborative process. And so that was a fully embodied playwriting.
Right.
um, and I feel like embodied playwriting is something that's really important to me. Like I I love seeing the words on the page. Like
Hmm.
I love the formatting. Like don't get me wrong, I love it, but like I want to see it up on its feet. I want to see people who have the energy. I want to hear it out loud. Usually, when I'm writing, within my first or second draft, I'll do a reading with people just so that I can hear the words because
Yeah.
plays are meant to be heard, not read. Um, so I usually have readings and then I'll just keep editing and revising until I feel like it's ready. Or I'm like, yeah, it's a living document. As I grow, I can always go back and change things as I work with different
Hmm.
people. If I have an actor who's like, hey, I keep wanting to say this line instead of this line, can we work together on that? Like working with my actors to make sure that the show is really showcasing them
Hmm.
and the story that they are trying to portray with it.
You and I are so on the same page because everything you've said has been what I've been doing for the past, I don't know, 3,000 years since I started writing, but totally into development, totally into rewriting, seeing how it's, because in my head, and I'm sure in your head, once you spill it out onto the page, it looks great. You know, it needs a lot of work. But once it starts coming alive around the table, once the actors start moving with it and you start to get feedback, you realize you're watching this play grow.
Hmm.
And for me, and it sounds like for you as well, it's a wonderful experience. I can't get enough of it. And once in a while I'll take my very first draft and I'll go to my very last draft and I'll look at the differences. Like, oh my God, if it weren't for the same characters, it'd be two different plays.
Yeah, astoundingly different. And that's what's so exciting about it. And like that's why I'm getting my master's in new play
Mm,
development. I'm like I want to be a part of that creative process. I want to keep taking these balls of clay that we have that are the scripts and like keep molding them and adding
yeah.
specificity. Um, and something that I learned in undergrad that one of my professors, I can't remember who, told me was that at the beginning of the show, the director has the best knowledge of all the characters, like knows the most about everything, but by the end of the show,
Hmm.
the actors know their character best.
Yeah.
So, kind of taking that lesson that I was told and applying it, like let the actors figure out discoveries of their characters and then make sure that I can translate those discoveries into the script if possible so that those discoveries that happen can live on past me once the show comes completely out of
Sure.
my hands.
Yeah, you're right. It is a living document and it is so affected by a lot of things. I direct as well. And you're right. The farther along the show goes, the more redundant the director comes because the actors have now taken possession of these characters. And it's a wonderful thing to see. I've had actors in Tech Week look at me and go, no, I wouldn't do that. I'm not doing it. And they give me a reason why. I'm like, fine, you're the ones on stage. Let's do it. Is this what you meant before when you said radical collaboration?
Yeah, like I think that in traditional theater making, it's like whatever the director says goes. Like actors always have to
Mm-hmm.
yes and everything. Like I when I make theater, I try to strive to give my actors and everyone I'm working with agency. Like I know that I am not the end all be all and I think that more minds are better than one. Like I want to discover ideas for shows that I didn't even think of because I'm just one person.
Right.
And really work together and make sure that voices are heard in the space and that like yes I might be directing or yes this might be my thesis project for instance, but we are creating this as a collective, and I think that that just bears more fruitful theater and more fun theater. Like it's called a play for a reason. Like let's all
Yeah.
discover and explore together.
That's I so totally agree with you. This good for you. You're going to produce some amazing theater. I know this. I just absolutely know this. And one of the reasons I can tell is because when I was going through decisions, You've got some of the best character descriptions I've ever seen in my life. And I'm gonna read them out because they're so
Okay.
good. I mean, they're gonna get read in the reading, but Avery, they, them, 24, barista, Sagittarius sun, Capricorn moon, Taurus rising. Their energy is like a pointy rock with hidden googly eyes on it, basking in the sun. And if that wasn't enough, Piper, she, her, 22, unemployed, Libra sun, Gemini moon, Pisces rising. Her energy is like a butterfly trying to fly on a windy day. Wow. I mean, I've never seen anything like this before, these descriptions, and yet, even though my astrology is sorely lacking, I kind of know who these people are a lot. Where
Yeah.
is this where you come from when you think about characters?
Yeah, I really like to be inclusive with the way that I write things. I feel like in the past, a lot of character descriptions have been like about physical
Hmm.
features, but for me, it's the energy of the person that's more important. And I wanted that to translate into my stage direction, or not my stage directions, but my character descriptions. Like,
Yeah.
I just yeah, it's fun, and I try to tailor them to every show that I'm in, or not in, but every show that I write, I try to tailor the character descriptions to that specific show and the little nuances within it. And then sometimes in my little playwriting bio, I'll add like my own little tidbit of information that kind of matches the character descriptions as well, just because it's fun. But yeah.
No, it's yeah. One of the things that grabbed me about the play right away, reading this play, you can't help forming opinions about characters. And one of the things I tend to do is I try and figure out where the character came from within the playwright. It's just a natural thing. It's a who wrote this and why did they write this and what was their point. And the two characters of Avery and Piper are radically different. And you mentioned earlier that you had written this because you were missing your girlfriend.
Yeah, I was.
Okay. So as I'm reading this thing, I'm thinking, oh my God, she's got to be Avery. I found myself wondering about Avery's character. I mean, they do so well dealing with Piper's confusion. And yes, it is the mark of a well written play to want to know more about the character. I want to know who Avery is. They seem much more experienced, much more been there, been you, eminently capable. And the question I was going to write down is that you?
I definitely put a little bit of myself into both of the characters. The flightiness of Piper and the indecision. I'm a Gemini. So kind of grappling with all of the different aspects of everything and kind of getting
Hmm.
overwhelmed with that is something that I relate to. But the groundedness of Avery, like the dichotomy between like the airy frantic and the groundedness of Avery, that is also something I feel because I am a Virgo moon and a Capricorn rising, and those are both earth signs. So in
Yeah.
my big three, I have earth and air. So there's always that push and pull. And I was just having a lot of thoughts about what home is and who it can be, and just exploring that concept and to kind of organize my thoughts. I had like these two characters that have seemingly different opinions. And that
Hmm.
was kind of me in my head being like, is it a person? Is it a place? Is it me? Like, because I was internally trying to figure that out too. So I had to
Right.
like put it into separate people to kind of process it. Yeah.
No, no, that makes perfect sense, especially Avery's line. I feel like my home lives in me. Like wherever I go, I know I'll be able to make it feel like home. And that, even to be able to say that is the mark of a distinct personality because so many people think home is at 347 Pine Street in, any town USA, or it's a physical description. It's a place where we cite the where we've chosen to live as an integral part of who we happen to be. And this is peripatetic. This is nomadic. This character is wherever I go. This is home. And it speaks of someone who's remarkably independent and has a lot of faith in their ability to make generally decent decisions.
Mm-hmm.
So that line absolutely stood out. And yeah, it's complicated, isn't it? Just trying to figure out who you are and what parts of you you're going to put on the page.
Exactly. And like with Avery, having that groundedness, but also the impulsivity of being able to go wherever.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like that juxtaposition in itself makes Avery such a dynamic character in my mind because I'm like, you're so like you know that you're going to be fine. You know that wherever you end up, you will succeed because you are you.
Yeah.
But you're being logical about it. You're not like going and doing crazy risky things. So, which I feel like is what people usually think of when you're like, oh, like I'm not really tied down anywhere. Like you think of someone who's a little more flighty, but the groundedness of Avery that I found while I was writing them was really intriguing to me.
Yeah, she is her own ground. Okay, last question about the play, then I want to ask you about something else.
Okay.
Are you the person that people go to when they want to talk?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I
All
recommend the
right.
rock. And not to like self-insert in the character descriptions, but the rock with hidden googly eyes, like
Yeah.
I love the idea of me just being a rock with googly eyes. Um, and like basking in the sun as a rock. Like, can you imagine how good that would feel? Oh my
Hmm.
gosh. Um, I forgot the question. I'm sorry.
That's okay. No, no, no. It's are you the person that people go to when they want to talk?
Yeah, I am. I do love talking. I love yapping. But I find that a lot of people come to me because I feel like I'm also a good listener and like
Yeah.
I'm good at discerning what kind of not reaction they're wanting, but like if they want advice or if they just want
Mm,
me to sit and be like, yeah, like I understand. Like I'm very empathetic in that way and like yeah.
yeah. Okay. That's yeah, okay. I was going to guess that, but okay. You have a double major in theater and environmental studies, which
Yes.
actually, after talking to you for 12 minutes, does not surprise me at all that you're interested in the environment and the planet. Let's talk about that. What was the program like and where are you going to go with that?
Yeah, so Hollins University, which is where I got my undergraduate degree from, they were one of the few universities that would let me double major in theater and environmental studies. A lot of
Hmm.
the other universities that I got accepted into, if you major or minor in theater, you have to only do things in theater. Like you can't pick up a major that's outside of theater.
Okay. Yeah.
And I've always been passionate about the environment. In high school, I took an environmental literature class that where I learned how to look at works through an eco-critical lens, and now that is my favorite thing to do is just see how nature is being portrayed either consciously or subconsciously by the author and how that affects the audience's interpretation of it. And I know that I just love nature so much and I love like the ocean and I want to use my love for the arts to kind of talk about it. And one of the things with Bumble's Big Adventure was pollinators are on a rapid decline right now.
Yeah, they are.
And it my show features a bumblebee, a butterfly, a wasp, and a bat. And people don't know that bats and wasps are also pollinators. So or fruit bats
Yeah.
specifically.
Hmm.
So like getting people interested and like teaching them some little tidbits of sciencey information while not being like, this is a science lesson.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
yeah, bridging the two because I don't think they have to be separate. And theater is an inherently very wasteful industry, and I am really passionate about upcycling and trying to figure out how we can make beautiful theater and make unique theater that isn't wasteful and that doesn't hurt the community or the ecosystems around us. Um, so I wanted to learn more about those facets, and then I kind of my majors were very separate, but I was able to kind of merge them together when I did my honors thesis, and use
Good.
my knowledge from both.
That's wonderful. That is absolutely wonderful. Chloe Riederich, this has been a wonderful experience. I have loved every second of speaking with you. And, I would wish you luck in the future, but I just kind of know you're going to be doing amazing things and climbing huge mountains and having a ball and just being wonderful all the time while you're doing it. So thank you so much for being a part of On Stage, Off Stage, and we love your play.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here and to have been able to just talk about what I love. It's so exciting.
Hey kids, thanks for listening to On Stage, Off Stage. On Stage, Off Stage is produced monthly, and all of our shows can be found at onstageoffstage.org and also on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, and Google Podcasts. If you enjoy what we do, please recommend us to your friends. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at OnOffStage. And if you are a theater artist with an upcoming project or interest, or know of someone in the theater world who'd make good chat, by all means, send us a note at onstageoffstagepodcast@gmail.com. Our theme music is Don't Worry, Be Frappy by the composer Max Dickinson. You can find a lot more of Max's magnificent music on SoundCloud. I'm George Sapio. Thanks once again for listening, and please be kind to those with whom we share this rock. And as always, happy theatering to all of you.